Well, hello, amigas, and welcome to Amiga Handle Your Ship podcast. All right, here's a solo episode for you ladies out there, and men too, of course. So, I've been getting a lot of questions. As you all know, or maybe you don't know, but I will tell you. I've done a lot of immigration work. As a matter of fact, at the tail end, when I kind of reduced my law practice, was all about immigration, and it was family-based. Now, I wanted to bring this episode because I had an interview with someone who was inquiring and found out that I did immigration and had heard of a new program. And this new program that I'll be talking about, it is something that was recently provided by the Department of Homeland Security, which was on June 18, and it's called Parole In Place. Now, Parole In Place is not a new concept at all. What's going on is that the powers that may be, stemming from President Biden, has decided, in my opinion, possibly like a political move, which tends to happen from every politician that is facing re-election. And so one of the things that they tend to do is an executive order. And this has been happening. Every president has had multiple executive orders. Some have been very big in the immigration context, and some have been very draconian against immigrants in the executive context. Okay? So these executive orders are that. They're orders from the executive. This time around as President Biden. And so what I'm about to inform you is not providing legal advice, because I would not dare do that here. If you are in need of legal advice, you really need to consult someone in person that is a lawyer, and definitely not a notary. Believe me, in my heyday, I've been counseling immigrants for a long time, and some of those immigrants have gone into a lot of trouble due to mishaps that happen with a notary. And so let's say no. Whenever this executive order is unleashed and the federal registry is updated and giving you the guidance, which is not going to happen until possibly the end of summer, beginning of fall, do not submit anything, okay? Do yourself a favor. Do not submit anything. You could definitely consult an immigration attorney. And if you need any assistance in that, you can certainly send me an email, Jackie@JackieTapia.com, or you can certainly DM me on Instagram, Jackie_Tapia.1. Okay, now, there's no legal advice. I'm just giving you this as a form of education. And as you know, amigas, I like to tell you any relevant news that may help you, or may help a family member, or may help a friend of yours, okay? So this is in regards to Parole In Place, and there is a lot of talk right now on that matter, and I'm just going to specifically talk to you about this relevant information promulgated by the Department of Homeland Security, which is a new process to consider, and it's on a case-by-case basis. So, amigas, just because you think that you fit into this criteria, rest assured that you need to consult legal advice, because after further investigation, it might determine that you do not qualify. Okay? So what are the qualifications according to this Parole in Place? This is for those individuals who have lived in the United States for 10 years or more that do not pose a threat or public safety or national security. Those are very big deals. And some of you may have committed fraud by assuming an alias that is an American citizen. Does that interfere with public safety and national security? Food for thought. You should consult an attorney. Okay? Another criteria here is eligible to apply for adjustment of status. Now, to apply for adjustment of status means there are certain parameters in that regard too. And in this particular case, it is for those that are married, okay? And then also, one of the major things is that you merit a favorable exercise of discretion. Okay, that means that an immigration agent has to say that you are good to go, okay? So now, here's the eligibility process for this, okay? So again, you must be present in the United States without admission or parole. Another way of saying this is that you cross the border without having confronted an agent. And if you have not confronted an agent, possibly you're in a car, but then even that requires a level of investigation. Possibly you crossed over through the desert. That also requires a level of investigation. And some of you may be questioning because you might have been apprehended at the border. Those are things you need to talk to an attorney and clear them out. Okay? So be present in the United States without admission or parole. Have been continuously present in the United States for at least 10 years as of June 17, 2024. So we say that you had to be here June 17 and prior. So 10 years. You have to complete 10 years. Okay? And have a legally valid marriage to a U.S. citizen as of June 17, 2024. Now, let me just tell you a little conversation I had with a certain individual who would otherwise be eligible for this, but for the fact that upon further investigation, it was determined that he may be a threat to national security because guess what? Claiming to be a U.S. citizen is a threat because now you're using a false identity. And that is punishable by law. Okay? So, amigas, if just so that you can have this a thought, if you ever use somebody else's name, let's reconsider applying here. And here's another thing that I, as a caveat, this is something that is promulgated by President Biden. And now he may or may not be here with us next year for the next presidency. And guess what happens? The next president can completely eradicate this executive order. Okay? I want you to be very, very careful with this. Just because you may fit into it, there are definite things to really reconsider and make sure that this program applies for you and your family, okay? And now know that the Federal Register will be promulgating the steps and how to and when to start applying for this program. So do not apply now because it's not available to you right now. And it's basically something that is in the horizon, and it's not viable at this point in time. So just wait for the register to open and for it to become part of the regulations. And I'm sure that some of you are probably already consulting attorneys. And please, please, please make sure that it is an attorney and not a notary who allegedly claims to work with an attorney, because that can also, there's a concept that we have in immigration, which is notary attorneys, which means that they don't know who you are, but they all went through the notary, and then at the moment that they get to go to court, guess what? They have to hire an attorney, and that's where it gets really dicey. So, amigas, I just wanted to send this over to you. Remember, there are definite resources. You can definitely go into what is called the American Immigration Lawyers Association. It's the acronym is AILA.org, and you'll be able to find more information. That is a legitimate place to start and discover. You can also go to the Department of Homeland Security website, which is uscis.gov, and you can find more information there. And there's always they talk about the INA, which is the Immigration Nationality Act, which is where we find most of our immigration laws. Okay, so rather than boring you to death, I really just wanted to make sure that you understood that it's still not law, that it's still not found in the federal registry. It is still not something you can apply for. And it gives you ample time to be able to contact an attorney. And if you are in need of one, make sure you get in touch with us here at Jackie at JackieTapia.com. You can email me, or you can DM me at my what's it called? It is Instagram, Jackie_Tapia.1. And good luck, amigas. If you have any relatives out there, please, please, please make sure that they go to an attorney, a real legitimate attorney. I've seen nightmares, and I've handled nightmare cases because they went to notaries. So, happy summer. I know many of you celebrated the 4th of July, and I'm excited to say that while there's so many great things in this country, but there's also a lot of, things that to be concerned about. So watch out, be safe. And when you, after consulting an attorney and knowing all the advisory there is in regards to this Parole In Place program, know that I'll be coming back here on the mic to explain and tell you more about it, okay? So there goes my legalese. Again, this is only for education purposes. This is not legal advice. You need to go and find someone to help you out. And that someone must be an attorney, a legal attorney. And I'm here in the state of California, and that would be someone who passed the bar here in the state of California or passed the bar in other states. But if you're here in California and somebody has a different state passage, go and investigate whether that is true, okay? There's so much fraud out there, and I don't want you to fall victim or prey to something like that. All right, amigas, I love you all, and I wish you a wonderful summer, and know that you are fully supported, okay? Have an amazing, amazing summer.